Hello miners, and welcome to some discontinued gems here. So what I have is a Kershaw Blackout, it's 1550, and the Kershaw Whirlwind, and that's 1560. So we're going to be taking a talk about discontinued Kershaw knives today, and I happen to get lucky and pick up a few, and you guys can check out some earlier videos I try to explain that. But this knife was the 1998 budget knife of the year. You can see here it's made in the USA. It's using what Kershaw calls Polyimide material for this handle. So I don't know if the would be FRN, GRN kind of a thing today. Zytel kind of material. It's a synthetic material. It does have liners on the inside. They're kind of hard to make out. I'll get this one out of here, maybe help my camera focus. We're looking at the lock up there. Tip down clip only. They did not offer a tip up with these. So these were made, I think 1998 I said earlier, and they were made up into 2014, 2015. This one is from June of 08. So has a thumb stud, which is on one side. You can unscrew it and flip it around, and then the SpeedSafe. So we'll see that again. It's very nice to close. Let's see here. Just get us started. Takes over. It's a Ken Onion design, and it's got really good ergos. So, flat ground blade here with a swedge, and it reminds me of another knife I'm going to get out here and see if you guys got any thoughts on which one I'm thinking. And then let's take a peek at the 1560. This is the Kershaw Whirlwind, and it's the same knife as far as the Polyimide handles. You got your jimping back here, just a different design knife or blade. So pretty much this blade's the same except for the grind. It's a hollow grind, and they have these holes drilled in there, which are kind of cool. So take a look. This lockup's a little earlier than on this other one. Now I did buy these both brand new. I did find a store that still had some new old stock, and I did talk to them, and they're not interested in selling anything and shipping anything. So I don't know what they're going to do, but that's a different story. So same thing, speed assist. Okay, wax out there pretty good. Okay, give me a second. Looking for something to cut. All right, we'll cut one of these. My knife science papers. First up, we better do the 1550. Okay, a little bit of not as smooth as I'd like it, but no hang-ups. Here's 1560. All right, so it's smooth all the way through anyway. I'll give that to them. But I want to talk about this steel for a second. So Kershaw used 440A steel when these first came out. I'll look through, if you look through Kershaw catalog, 21, 22, here's one for 23, 24. I got one I'm going to look at here is the 07, and I'm going to put a link in here for you guys if you're interested. I found this online and we can get these. So when we're taking a peek at an 07, now this is an 08, I didn't print the 08. Here we are, Sandvik 13C26 is this one. It's got Tungsten DLC coating. It's got a Polyimide handle, 410 stainless steel liner, 3¼ inches on the blade, 4.5 on the closed weight, and 3.5 ounces. If it has an ST behind it, it's serrated. I don't have these knives. This is the Avalanche. It's a 1570, and it has S30V at this time. I do believe they made the Avalanche with a 440V, which is another name for S60V. So that's what we found out earlier is called the Forgotten Super Steel. So they did make the Avalanche. Oh, and here's a BOA that was selling about that time. And these are the Blackouts. Oh, the Avalanche had G10 handles. And we're still in 07. But at that time, the Whirlwind 1560 is also 13C26. And we'll talk about that steel because it's a pretty cool steel. It's the standard for razor blades. It's also AE, it's your Able steel. Oh, where are we here? So AEB-L is Bowler. Sandvik is using the same percentages approximately. So here's your 12C, 0.6 and 13.5. Here's your 14C, 14C28. Now know this, in 2007, this steel did not exist. In 2007, Kershaw approached Sandvik and said, let's bone up our 13C26 blade steel. And what they did there was, oh, I don't know, they just made a change, obviously, just not much. I don't know what they did. I doubt that oh, I think I do know. They added nitrogen. That's what they did here. But this AEB-L, you guys look for that right now in a production knife. You're not going to find it. It's a standard razor blade material and custom knife makers use it. And one of the interesting things about it is, there's a couple of interesting things. It can get to 61 HRC. And that's going to be hard, okay? And it happens to also say tough. So it's one of the knives that has a high HRC and still has a high toughness. And because of the percentage of the carbon in there, it takes a fine edge. And I'll talk about that edge just for a second. And we're kind of getting off track, but this is interesting to me. 13C26 with 0.62 roughly carbon has this optimal carbon saturation, and when they forge it, it forms more K1 carbides than K2. What's that mean, Rusty? That's K1 carbides are smaller. So what's carbide is when you put carbon in a steel, carbon steel, what forms are these little hard grains. And K1 grains, crystals, carbides, have a higher HRC. They're 75 plus. And a K2 is a bigger carbide, and it's a lower one. It's in the low 70s, high 60s. So we get a blade steel with smaller, harder carbides. And this is built for edge stability. So you can shave this thing down to like a 15-degree edge, and it's going to hold it. It's going to be really that razor cut. And when we get out something like a S30, you can feel, if you guys ever feel your S30, S35s, you feel a toothy edge. And that's one of the differences here, because the carbides, let's get these out of here, are coming, they're just different, okay? And of course you can use different grit and you can polish them, but you're still going to have a toothier, microscopically, you'll have a toothier edge than you will with this one. So I like that. Now I don't know if Kershaw is treating this to 61 HRC. I don't think that they did. It's a USA made knife, so we got that going for it. But they probably backed off just a little bit. Hopefully they're getting 58, 59 anyways. Okay, I said the blades remind me of another knife, and I happen to have that one ready. So, take a peek here. That's the Mel Pardue Griptilian. And this is Ken Onion. Now this blade, this knife would have came out earlier because it was a 98. I don't think the grips came out until 2001. You guys who know can correct me on that. But that's about the same blade shape. So, maybe, you know, Benchmade wanted to sell, I mean, kind of inspired, we'll say, by one of the popular selling models at the time, and that would be this Kershaw Polyimide handle, and then this one has their version of poly. Both are thumb studs. Of course, this one has the access lock, and that's a stronger lock than this liner lock, that's for sure. Yeah, it's hard to tell which one weighs more. How do they look in terms of size? And of course, yeah, your Benchmade has a win on the close. Although this is not bad, you can definitely do it one-handed. And I would be interested to know if these Benchmade clips would fit on your Kershaw. So taking a look at those. What else do I want to say? Oh, so you saw this one was marked June of 08, and I started to show you this one has no year marked in there. And they had them marked all the way up to the year 2009 is what I understand. So Kershaw would stamp the year, the month, and the year on there. And they didn't, they stopped doing that in 2009. So taking a peek back through all these, see if I can find, ooh, there's a Kershaw groove, the zings. There we are. What do we got here? Whirlwind 1560. Oh my. Might have lied to you guys. Turns out, if this is an 09, this has got 14C. And from what I've heard, because they stopped stamping them in 09, this is either an 09 or newer. So this is 14C. So this is my only 13C knife. Well, that's not true. I'll show you another one. But let me know what you guys think. If you guys had these, had any experience with them, if you still have them, I should know they're pretty collectible. And they can bring a pretty nice asking price. So thanks for watching.